first time I'm doing a piece without a mic. So please, if I'm not loud enough, stop me. I'm begging you. This is not part of the poem. I'm actually asking. This piece is called A-Train. Not every black man that takes the A-Train is necessarily getting off at 126th Street. Why these clothes and stereotypes exist? Is it because centuries ago that same black man took the chains off their necks, put it on their wrists, fitteds were stopped bracing their throats to the walls of that engine, on that Atlantic slave trade line? Please stand clear of black man's tears. Taken to a country never seen before by Kenyan eyes, before now forced to call it their native land. See, we preface American with the word African, conveniently juxtaposed on every application and standardized text, like we need to be reminded of our color every time we set foot into a social security office. No. They remind me of my color every day. I sit next to them and their old white grandmothers as they clutch their bags ever so tighter. See, my jeans don't sag, but my skin tone drags on the ground like a bike kicking up dust. Like it's a sin to be in this skin of mine, the same skin the world coddled and rocked gently in the cradle of life, the fertile crescent kept it. Every time Caucasian eyes gaze upon the Sphinx replicas in the museum, they are looking at a dedication to a black man. No one wants to remember that in those days they wrapped a black man in cloths and linens, bathed his crowned head in oils and perfumes. No, history has a selective memory and only tells the story of black men hanging in trees. And celebrations gathered around those vertical corpses, pretty ivory faces looking at the camera with glee and pride proclaiming, this is the heritage we built white power on. The elongated, dislocated necks of the modern day nigger. In 1959, a black bird called Jim Crow crossed my path. Now I have 7 centuries bad luck. You see, history calls it reconstruction, but I call it deconstruction because Afro-America was buried under weaves and extensions. We forgot to be African. We forget how to be African, but we damn sure know how to be African-American. We liken our skin to be closer to ivory because it's pure, forgetting that dark skin is all our ancestors had. To bestow upon us his pride was never an option. And they'll tell you that the words darkness and black are evil and sinister, and nighttime is the witch's hour, and that you should never fear because the pure white light will purge the darkness in a routine we've come to acknowledge as sunrise. But without the Negro, there would be no sun. Before we were colonized, we colonized the sun. Called it Osiris, called it Ra, called it beautiful. Now the only time you hear abroad now is if it's followed by the word like the Dungeon Dragon. So no, the A-Train doesn't just shuttle the Negro to Harlem. She has been tried and justified. Housing projects or condos built on the bones of the grandmother who was forced out due to raising rent costs she just couldn't keep up with. And they'll tell you that the darker your skin, the lower the property value. But you know better than anyone that when they wrote, this land was made for you and me, they were really saying, this land was built by them and made for us. That the White House was built by a black man. And all our heroes are now either high school names or uptown Harlem avenues. Well, funny how history repeats itself because they had to shut Martin Luther King High School down. So no need to indicate my race in the Social Security office because my place in this society is not secure. Let's keep it a secret, tightly wrapped under my do-rag and tilted Yankee cap, and I will only bring it out when it can get me somewhere other than first to be chosen on a suspect lineup or a basketball court. Thank you.